Sorry about that, guys. I gotta get my mic. Guys, as y'all come in, let me know how my mic is. Let me know if there's any crazy sounds in the background. But yeah, YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And tonight's live is gonna be on must draft rookies. So I'm gonna break down about 10 rookies and tell you why I'm targeting them in redraft leagues. Now, Dynasty, all these guys are going to get drafted as far as rookies, but in redraft, these are guys that I believe that you should be drafting. Like making sure that if you come across these guys, it's okay to draft them. Don't leave them on the waiver wire after the first initial draft. Now, listen, I'm going to mention some guys that are going to be stash guys. I'm not going to mention some guys that are going to be stash guys that's going to have an opportunity to be really good for your team. So if I don't mention them, they don't mean that they suck. It's just these guys right here are draft guys. But there are stash guys like backup running backs, guys that didn't get drafted that's going to have an opportunity to play. So I'm not going to mention all of these guys, but I'm going to mention some guys that are going to be drafted in the first 10 to 12 rounds of all redraft leagues. So guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. So guys, yes, I was laying down in the bed. I woke up and because I was tired today, I had a lot of stuff going on, looking for houses. And I just didn't have a chance to really sit down and think of a video or live to do. But I already got some stuff planned out. So I was like, you know what, man, I'm not gonna lay in the bed and look at YouTube and watch some fantasy football content. I'm gonna actually wake up. And what's going on, Arambi? I thought about hitting you up, bro, but I didn't want to bother you. But I was laying in the bed, and I was like, you know what, man? Let me go ahead and just get up and see what the algorithm's going to do is see if anybody going to pop up into the video. Anybody going to watch the live. And if they don't, who cares? If they do, maybe late night streams may be a thing for me when I have an opportunity, right? So let me do some things here. Okay. I didn't know if he was going to be up, bro, or what was going on. Like TD just hit me spare of the moment and want me to jump up. So I just thought I'd go and do this live and see what was going to happen and talk about some rookies. Glad y'all guys are here. I got some diehards always here. Robbie always supporting the channel. Nifty always supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let me see here. All right, guys. So let's talk about the most obvious guy. You know, I'm going to work my way down up from the easy guys that we know we drafting. Okay. Now I know, bro. So next time, you know, hey, you know how artists work. They wake up in any time at middle of the night and they do work. And I might at least give you a text and see if you're going to respond and we can do some work. But, yeah, so let's talk about the obvious rookie. Listen, guys, you got any questions? I come off, just because it's late, I get to the questions. I will read the questions in the chat because it's Fantasy After Dark Q&A. So the Q&As do take priority now. But so let's talk about Marvin Harrison. So everybody know that this guy is the #1 rookie being drafted. So this is what I believe about Marvin Harrison. I believe that he's going to be a good 4th quadrant player. And again, everybody, all my followers know this. When I talk about 4th quadrant, that is the last 4 to 5 weeks of your fantasy football leagues, which is the playoffs. Sometimes it could be week 18, it could be week 17, it could be week 16 for some leagues. Best ball, it could be any of those weeks when it could be over, right? It just depends. But I believe that during those last 4 to 5 weeks that Marvin Harrison will come out and be a top 12 wide receiver. And the reason why, guys, at the end of the season, you're not rookies anymore. You played about 12 to 13 games and you know all the ins and outs of being a professional wide receiver. So to me, at his ADP, I'm not going to draft him. Not because he's a bad player, just because I like other players outside of rookie and I don't want to wait on him on my team. Now listen, if he falls to like the 4th round in a redraft league, then I'll probably get him. But this guy's probably going to be going like round 2, sometimes round 1. And if he don't start off, it could hurt you. What's going on, Peyton? Okay, hold on. Let me fix fix these live chat. Peyton, appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that super chat. Yes, sir. So, I believe that Marvin Harrison, guys, is going to be good later in the season. So if you draft him and he start off slow, don't complain. This is what happens when you get a rookie. Let me tell you some elite rookies who started off slow. There's a couple of them that started off and they ate like pause. I mean, they was killing from the beginning. Like Randy Moss, 20 years ago, from day one, he was elite, top 5 wide receiver in fantasy. And that's when wide receivers really wasn't that elite in fantasy because the game was different. It was mostly predominantly running backs. But Jamar Chase. Now we know that he didn't play that last season because of the COVID, so he was rusty. But he started off, he was on the waiver wires for 2 to 3 weeks on most leagues. Guys were like, some people dropped him. He's dropping a lot of balls and balls in training camp, and he looks rusty and all of that. Nobody wanted him. About week 7, he was the league winner. He started getting 7 to 8 targets a game. So you had to be patient. But if you drafted him, you probably didn't make the playoffs if you drafted him in the 2nd round because he didn't start off early. He wasn't giving you that boom. That's what I want y'all to be aware of Marvin Harrison. And Marvin Harrison is not the athlete that Jamar Chase is. So sometimes these guys, especially with Marvin Harrison, he's more of like a Devontae Adams. He's very crafty. He's savvy. He's a great route runner. So people are going to get physical with him. They're going to put their hands on him, pause. So if he going to have to get used to that. Now, he does have a father that has that pedigree who will be used to that. Guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. You're going to have to get used to, Marvin Harrison will have to get used to that type of skill set for us with cornerbacks where they're very physical. This is grown man strength. This is grown man strength. But I like Marvin Harrison. I'm definitely drafting him. I just don't want to draft him at his ADP. Some of these other guys that I'm going to mention are going to have great ADPs where I feel very comfortable drafting them. So guys, with my channel, it seems like people are, unless you are a die-hard subscriber, you misunderstand me. Like people have misunderstood me with CMC for years. Hey man, this guy said he drafting Amon-Ra St. Brown and he ain't drafting CMC. It was just, I felt comfortable drafting Amon-Ra St. Brown at pick 7. Then I felt drafting CMC at pick 1 and CMC hit. And I still won leagues. I still won in 35-40% of my leagues, the championship, but I just didn't feel comfortable taking CMC, which he hit. Sometimes, hey, it can happen. So Marvin Harrison can come out and get 30 points, 40 points from day 1. I don't believe that, but he could. And either way, I won't be surprised. But I'm not taking him at the ADP. And that's how you have to be with fantasy. You got to know, like, a guy is good, but that don't mean I'm going to take him at the ADP. I'd rather get a guy that's more safer that I've seen, that I'm willing to go down with the ship, that I expect to have a big year because he's going to get a lot of targets. He's used to the NFL game. That's how I play fantasy. But I'm never going to tell nobody who to draft or who not to draft to. All right, so let me just look at some of the comments here before we get going. Kid, what's up, bro? What's going on, kiddo? He said, is that time of the year, bro? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Rami says, bruh, Marvin Harrison Jr. is climbing my ranks. I'm liking him as a late 3rd. There you go. And I think that's great ADP. But taking him in the 2nd, I don't know, man. But yeah, him in the 3rd and 4th, I think that's good ADP. As your 2nd or 3rd wide receiver, I want him to be my wide receiver 3. I think I'm winning with that. So if I could go get Tyreek Hill, then Jalen Waddle, and then I get Marvin Harrison Jr. as my 3rd wide receiver, I'm okay with that. But if I go and get Bijan Robinson and then Marvin Harrison Jr., I don't like that. That's just me. That's just me personally. Dale J, what's up, bro? Good to see you. He says Harrison ADP going to fall once we get out of the best ball season. You might be right. That's a great point. Best ball season, you want to get that boom for that 4th quadrant. Best ball, guys, people draft for 4th quadrant. It's big time on 4th quadrant because that's how you win all the big money and underdog in best ball. In the playoffs, and you competing and you get guys that ain't really did a lot all season, then they hitting, you can win and beat people who have maybe some better players that they drafted, right? So I agree with that. And I think actually Marvin Harrison best ball ADP should go up maybe 6 or 7 spots because of best ball, where you can you don't have to pick him to start in your lineup. The best player with the most points is going to take that spot. So that's two different things. That's a great point, Dale J. Kittle says, around me homeboy third. Damn, I need to catch up on my fantasy. TZ says, yup, good point. Rami says, I just like him as a wide receiver 3 as I usually draft wide receivers early. Facts. G says, are you into IDP? Yes, I am into IDP. And I will be doing some videos on IDP. It's just they don't hit the algorithm in my channel, man. I need to hit algorithm topics, right? So don't ever think, guys, I'm doing the same topic over and over again. I'm just doing topics that, go look at the other channels and you see I have similar topics to them. The big channel. So I have to follow behind their trend because they have the lead right now. Pause. TG says, I find it easier to find a bell cow running back later in the draft. Facts. Than finding an elite wide receiver later in the draft. Facts. Harambe says, Zeke, great example. Right. Zach says, Waddle or Flowers. I'm going with Flowers. I hate to say that, man. It just depends. If I get Tyreek with the first overall pick, I'm probably going to go and get Waddle because I'm looking for the stack. And you can do that because Flowers probably won't be going off the board. But if I get like B. John and then Breach and then Waddle comes up on the board and then the Flowers is still there, I'm going to wait and try to get Flowers. I know that sounds a little bit complicated, but to me, I only want Waddle with a Miami stack. And it's predominantly I need to have Tyreek, and then I want Waddle. I think those two guys are like Kobe and Shaq. Like if one go off, the other one's gonna go. If one don't go off, the other one's gonna go off. That's how I would like that. I don't want to depend on Waddle because he might not boom, and that's okay because that's how the Miami offense is. So, but if he your number one wide receiver and he don't play, he ain't good. But you are being disingenuous to how that scheme is. With the scheme, one of those guys are gonna ball out. So that's why I want Tyreek and Waddle. G says, super interested. I do the YouTube channel management for IDP. Okay. Hit me up, bro. What do you offer? What are you doing for the YouTube channel management for IDP? Is that the name of your channel? Rami's dead. He's doing a tomato. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that, TZ. Appreciate that, bro. He says, show love to this man. I challenge everyone to drop a super chat. Appreciate that, bro. It says Marvin Harrison Jr. or DK. That's a great one. It depends on the ADP, but I'm gonna do this in a vacuum. It don't matter. It's just those two players on the board, and I gotta pick one or the other. I'm probably going with DK. I'm probably going with the more experienced guy, the boom guy who's making a lot of money. G says, are you coming to Canton, Ohio for Fantasy Football Expo? Yes, I was invited to that. I was invited to that. And actually, guys, I have a Patreon where me and Dynasty Football Key made I would call it an algorithm for as rookies coming in. And I've been doing this the last 2 to 3 years myself. But when I got up with him, he was like, man, you need to come up with some type of analytics and let people know that you're not just going off of what you see and like. And I said, all right. So I gave him the algorithm. He started testing it with all the players and players that I talked about that nobody was on. He saw that they was scoring high on my list, like Tyreek Hill, Christian Watson. Wow. And he was like, oh, that's why you was high on these guys. I'm like, yes. So guys, sign up for that Patreon. It's $20 a month. And you can go in there and look at the rookies. And right now they there, and you can see guys that I'm high on that nobody's really that high on. Like Ricky Pearsall was high as a wide receiver on that algorithm, but he was drafted in the first round. Nobody said he was a first round pick, but I saw he fit the model of what I like. So yes, man, I'm supposed to be going, but I don't think I'm going. But Dynasty Football Key, he will be sharing our Patreon account and showing people about our algorithm. So I'm gonna support him that way. But right now it's a little too early for me to go. I might go maybe a couple years down the road, maybe not even next year. Let me see. We got a super chat in the building. Yes, sir. Harambe, my homie, guys. I appreciate this. I appreciate this. It was a good time to go live late at night. But this is what I say. Let me see. Okay, I thought he had a question. Thomas, what's up, Thomas? He said, so would you start both Tyreek and Water every week? Yes, sir, bruh. Yes, sir. That's what I do, man. I'm starting Thomas and Tyreek every single week. I'm starting Thomas and Tyreek. I'm saying I said Thomas. My bad. I'm starting Tyreek and Water every single week, bruh. Hey, listen, guys. I know y'all might not. I made a video called Squeezing, and a lot of you might say, "Well, TD, you running out of topics? You don't understand what that video is." And later, that video gonna come in, and when I talk about it later, you're gonna be like, "TD, you ranting, man. What? Why you getting?" Because I'm not gonna rant and be angry with them. But like, guys. Now you talking about how two guys on the same team ball, and I made this video back in the summer, and nobody's talking about it. But you want to ask me questions, and you've been a follower. Now, if you knew, I understand. But I'm gonna have guys that follow my channel, and then when Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker they play good on the same week, or Zach Charbonnet overtakes him, and Kenneth Walker played good in the beginning, but started to fade out. And then people were like, man, what's going on with Kenneth? I'm like, you should have played both of them that way, or drafted both of them. That way you was going to have the best player that come out of that backfield. It's just like going in a fight, and Vegas going to let you bet on both guys. That might be low odds, but I'm like, shit, if I can go and bet $100 and win $20 by taking both guys, I'm doing it because that's easy money. It might not be big time money, but it's easy money. So I'm willing to go into drafts where the ADP or it's kind of further. Like it ain't like round 1 and round 2. So it may be like round 8, then round 11. I'm willing to get both of these guys and play them at the same time. So with Tyreek and Waddle, that's a little bit different. That's a niche. I'm willing to go round 1 Tyreek and then round 2 Waddle because of this #1 scoring offense. I think this team could break records this year. They broke records in the past. They've broke records in the past. So I'm going. I take 3 guys. Yes, I would take Devon Achane, Tyreek, and Jalen Waddle, and play them all at the same time and get that boom. And I can show you leagues, brother, if you sign up as a member of the channel. If you sign up as a member of the channel, I can send you that, and far as I will post it in the community tab and show you my team where I had Jalen Waddle and Tyreek and also Waddle too. I mean, and Devon Achane, all 3 guys. Let's see here. We got a super chat. Appreciate that, guys. Y'all showing mad love. I got to do this more often. Make sure you hit the like button, guys, as you come in. Let's get the likes up. Kiddo says, where do you have Kelsey this year? Where do I have Kelsey this year, bro? I'm taking him about the 3rd, 4th round. So if I was to go, say I do, what we just keep going with what we're talking about. Say I go with Tyreek Hill #1. Come around, I'm at the turn, and I go with Waddle and Achane. Say Waddle and Achane, make it so I got 3 guys, and then I come back around to in that 4th round, and Tyreek is right. I mean, not Tyreek, but Travis Kelce's right there. I'm taking him right there. So I would say, man, about 3rd round, late 3rd round. But you got to make sure you have some killers. Don't draft him as he's your #1 player. This year, he's a value, so you need to be getting him to add him on. And it doesn't matter what type of season he really has. I know that might not sound like, what? You don't matter. No, it doesn't matter. Because at the ADP value you get him. He's an old, you can get him at his old school ADP value. Like 3 or 4 years ago, where people was getting Kelsey in the 4th round and he was balling out. That's the value that you can get him this year. So don't overdraft him this year. Don't overdraft Kelsey. So I think you can have, you say, let's do Superflex real quick. I know some of you playing Superflex. You can have C.J. Stroud, and then let's say who was the next quarterback that you could get in the 2nd round. C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, Achane. Let me see, Achane, and then you could go, I don't know, let's say Stephon Diggs or Nico Collins, and then you could get Travis Kelce. People are nervous with him. And listen, I don't think he's going to be a fourth quadrant player, which is the last 4 weeks, because I think this team is going to be going 13-3. This team is going to try to win a Super Bowl. So don't let that deter you. You can go and still just playing, but your other team is going to be studded out. And when he hit, you're going to win those weeks. So that's what Travis Kelce is this year, brother. So I would say third or fourth round in single quarterback league, super flex, maybe fourth and fifth. That's why, guys, I'm also big about letting the draft come to you guys. You might say, well, TD, why you don't talk about ADP? Because, guys, when you go into a real draft, ADP changes for maybe 30%, 40% of the league for players. So you might be wanting to take a guy in the second round, but he might fall to the third or fourth round. Or you might be wanting to take a guy in the third round and he get drafted in the first round. So sometimes you just got to go and take the best player available. Okay, wait a minute. Now I need to go 0 RB. Don't go in and say, I'm going 0 RB. Now you're going to be just set in stone, and then the draft might not be formatted for you to do that. You might need to take a running back or take 3 running backs. So that's why I don't talk about ADP. I like to fill the draft. And that's why I like to offer consultations where I can help you with the draft and I can be with you the whole draft. Because sometimes you just don't, it ain't no strategy that you can take in every single draft and implement that and win. Sometimes you got to be like, okay, I'm going 0 RB, and all of a sudden, all the wide receivers, you got the 7th pick, all the wide receivers are gone in the first round. Or you're going to take a Jalen Water in the first round, or you're going to go get Breach Hall and B. John Robinson that's left on the board, or CMC. That's how you got to do it when it comes to the drafting. Okay. All right, guys. I'm sorry. I know that went a little bit long with that. Let me see here. Let me go back up and get to some of these comments that I missed. Let me see. Okay, so G says, yeah, the company I work for is called IDP Plus. Okay. Yeah, bro, I'm in a super IDP. You need to get in one of my listener leagues, bro. I do about 9 starters for IDP. I'm a big IDP guy. I draft, I think I start like 17, 18 guys in my dynasty leagues where I'm doing super flex, 4 flex spots, tight end premium, 2 point per reception, first downs, carries, 30-yard, 40-yard, 50-yard touchdown bonus. I do all that, and I got IDP, and those IDP guys score just like offensive players. I don't got this weak IDP league. If you get 2 sacks, that's about 17, 18 points. I do 6 points per sack, and I do give you the minus of the yards for the sack too, because defensive players, they get paid big time money too. So man, you need to try those IDP leagues. Join one of my leagues. Zach says, I need all 3, Tyreek, A-Chain, Water, then get Flowers in the floor. There you go, bro. See, you killing it. Zach, no, man. Zach watched my content, man. He watched my content. That boy know. Let me open up my drink. Okay. Harami says, I always support this channel community. Yes, bro, you do. And I appreciate that. Zach says, I'll send you my cash app tomorrow from the mock draft. Okay. Yeah, do that, bro. You killed it. And Roman says, Zach, that team was fire. It was money. Yes, sir. G says, or Walker can't stay healthy. Yeah, Walker can't stay healthy either. So it's all of it, man. It can happen. Walker could go out and stay healthy this year. Who knows? But either way, you're going to have both guys. It's not going to kill your team because you get both guys. It's not a handcuff. Handcuff is like Alexander Madison waiting on Zamir White. So if Zamir White, if he's having a good season, Alexander Madison is not going to have any value. But if he gets hurt, he does. That's what a handcuff is. A squeeze, pause, it's a player that is going to be getting value even if that player is not hurt. He's going to be getting in the game. That's why I say handcuffs and squeezes are 2 different type players. A lot of people say, you talking about a handcuff. It's not a handcuff. Handcuff is only when your guy gets hurt is when that guy gets in the game. Zach says, Harami, yes, sir. Thanks, man. Thomas says, what's up, man? Chilling, listening from work again. Man, I don't know about starting 2 wide receivers at the same time. I like handcuffed and running backs, though, or have 2 wide receivers, same team, but don't start both. All good. I feel you. But I did it with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle last year. And even though Jalen Waddle didn't have a great year, I still was one of the highest scoring teams in the league. Because Jalen Waddle still hit 2 or 3 games where he finished as like a top 5, top 7 guy. And I got those weeks. I got that. And you remember the week that Tyreek was out, Waddle balled out. I had that because I had both teams. I mean, I had both guys. But I get that. Some people don't like doing it, and I understand it, man. Go down with your ship, man. It's 9 ways to win a championship. It's 9 ways to skin a cat. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel. All you got to do is go up to the right-hand corner, guys. Hit the 3 dots, and you can hit the like button. G says, I like that movie in best ball with those 3 players. I like that move in best ball with those 3 players. I'm sorry, guys. I ain't got my glasses on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Try it. I'm telling you. But it got to be elite offense. It's got to be a top 5 offense. I'm not doing it on some timey offense with rookie quarterbacks. You got to be a known commodity. Isaac says, bro, what's going on, bro? Hopefully you getting better, man. Appreciate you being here. TZ says, when's the next mock draft, man? Probably Sunday. I'm probably gonna do it Sunday, and I'm gonna go ahead and probably set up the live now. That way, but guys, reason why I don't do a lot of set it up for 3 or 4 days and then it happens because I'm looking for a house. If a house come open, guys, I gotta go. I can't like, oh, I'm supposed to be here at 6 o'clock, but now it's a house open and I need to make an offer before somebody else buy it. And that's why I'm trying to do this full time, right? That way I don't have to run into that. But by me having another job, guys, it's hard for me to set a date at a specific time and say that I'm gonna do a live. I just kind of want y'all to expect that it's coming. So on Sundays, you know it's mock draft time. So 90% of the time, you're gonna get a mock draft on Sunday between 6 and 8 o'clock. And as I grow, I will do more set time shows. Thomas says, I had Waddle and Tua last year after acquiring both. Didn't turn out the greatest. Right. And that's just one time. That's just one time. I had Waddle, but Waddle and Tua, that's why I said I don't want Waddle and Tua. I want Tyreek and Waddle. Not Waddle and Tua. Tua and Tyreek is different. I think Tyreek is the key. He's like the point guard. I don't mean that I just mean like you got to have him first. If you don't have him, none of the stacks really matter. Devon A-Chain is the only guy that I'm willing to take outside of Tyreek. Now, if I get A-Chain and I don't be able to get Waddle, I don't be able to get I don't want Waddle and A-Chain, but I take A-Chain. I take A-Chain at any ADP. Like I think A-Chain is going to ball out, but I don't want Waddle by himself, and I don't want Tua necessarily by himself. You can get Tua by himself. He could be a top 5 quarterback, but to me, he's more of a stack. This is more of a stack team. Like if I'm drafting guys off this team, I want to stack them together because somebody off this team is going to have a elite week. Sound like a helicopter. Okay. All right. Thank you for letting me know that, Isaac. Thank you. Yeah, guys, let me know if the sound is off or if it's making crazy noise. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, thank you, Arambi. Isaac says, I'm waiting on tight ends always. Yes, and you can do that. It's split 9 ways to skin a cat. I like Njoku. I'm trying to get Njoku this year, so I'm not drafting a lot of Kelsey. Sometimes I might draft Kelsey, but I love Njoku this year. I think Njoku could be the #1 tight end. I know people say, well, what about Deshaun Watson? To me, I don't look at that trend of what they've been doing in the past because I know Deshaun Watson is the elite guy and he just got to get the feel again, right? Pause. So if you go back to Carson Palmer, remember when he quit football, kind of like Deshaun Watson, or he didn't want to have anything to do with the Cincinnati Bengals, kind of like Deshaun Watson with the Texans. And when he came back and played, he was rusty. So you have to give Deshaun Watson time to get. The game is fast, guys. This is not college where guys are running wide open. It's almost even if you're not an anticipation thrower, it's still an anticipation game. You got to be able to see stuff before it actually happened. You got to be like, okay, he's about to get open. Then you throw him open. You can't wait till he's running wide open in the pro game because it doesn't happen. The defenses are so complicated that nobody looks open unless you can anticipate it by having Photoshop memory. and that's what Deshaun Watson got to work on. But now I think him just being around the game more, practicing, watching David Njoku last year, I think they're gonna have a big year. So I love David Njoku. I like waiting late for David Njoku this year. Mr. Sleeper says, made it to the live. Yes, sir, bruh. Yes, sir. Zach says, there's a lot of tight ends that I rather draft later than Kelsey. And it's nothing wrong, and I agree with that. It's Kyle Pitts. It's a lot of guys that's going late. I agree with that, bruh. Kilda says, bet. Thank you. Anytime. Thomas says, BPA, best player available. Yes. Best player available. Sometimes you got to go and maybe, I would say, don't draft a guy, fade a guy to get a stack. So there might not be best player available. You may go best player available for the first 2 rounds. And then you got Lamar Jackson, so you need to go get Zay Flowers, even though Stephon Diggs is still on the board. That's how I also say too. So to me, if I got Lamar Jackson and in the second round or third round or something, I mean second round or first round, because it's super flex, and I'm getting ready to come around and draft a wide receiver, and Stephon Diggs is on the board, but I know I can get Zay later, I'm probably gonna fade Stephon Diggs and get Zay. So it won't be the best player available. There might be a couple other guys that might be a little bit better ADP or better seasons from the previous year that I may fade to go get Zay because I got Lamar, and I don't want that to, like, certain players go together with your team. I like to have a little bit of boom and a little bit of consistent. I like PPR monsters where guys are getting 12, 13 targets. And I also like getting some guys who might get 4 to 5, 6 targets, but they can boom and go for 60-yard touchdowns like Rashid Shaheed. I might draft Rashid Shaheed over a guy that's a little bit more consistent, but Rashid Shaheed got more boom. That's just me. You got to field the team. You got to field the draft. It just can't go in there like a robot. Isaac says, always willing to pivot. There you go. Always be willing to pivot. Facts. TZ says, yep, sometimes the guys you won't get taken, so you got to pivot, or the format matters too. Right. Facts. Yes, sir. Isaac says, HBO special, like it's a channel I watch, man. He always say, hey, HBO special, help a brother out, hit the like button. If they zig, you got to zag. Come on, Harambe. Isaac says, tap them 3 dots, top 3 dots. Yes, sir. That's how you hit the like button. Isaac says, squeeze. Yes, sir. Pats, what's up, bruh? He said, what's good? 12 a.m. here. Yes, sir. That's why I wanted to go live. I thought this might be a little bit different. Usually, man, I got to get up and go to work in the morning in about 5 hours. But guess what? I couldn't sleep. And I figured I could push myself to wake up. I love talking fantasy football. This is not working to me. So, you know, waking up in the middle of the night doing it, it's like people who love music. They're not working. So I was like, man, I can't sleep right now. I'm not gonna go. Usually I go listen to a podcast, listen to some fantasy football stuff, and I go to sleep in like an hour and a half. But I was like, no, man, let me go try to do a live real quick. I already had the itinerary of some guys that I wanted to talk about, and I haven't got to them, and that's good because this is a Q&A. So I want to get to the questions first. The questions matters tonight. Let's see. Zach says, would you draft Puka over Justin Jefferson this year? Man, you know what, man? I can easily say no, but I'm going to go ahead, bro. I'm going to say yeah right now. That answer could change. But right now, man, I'm drafting Puka over Justin Jefferson. I love the Matthew Stafford. I think Matthew Stafford can have an MVP type season. I think Matthew Stafford can have an MVP season, so I want to get all his wide receivers paused. So yeah, I'm drafting Puka over Justin Jefferson. I wouldn't tell you to draft Puka like 1-3, 1-4, but I would say if you could fade Justin Jefferson and get Puka, do that if that's possible. But I wouldn't necessarily draft Puka ahead of a bunch of guys like Breach Hall and Bijan Robinson. You know what I'm saying? But I would rather have Puka over Justin Jefferson, if that makes sense. Great question. Robbie says, you're welcome. Good to hear. Okay. And G says, our IDP charity league starts 11 offense and 11 IDPs. Awesome. It's a deep league with a short bench. I like that. We will have to connect, and I send you the details. Yes, sir, bro. Send that to me. I love that 11 on 11. That's like a real GM, like a real GM. And Zach says Ayuk over Waddle. No, I'm taking Waddle at this point. That I want to get to that Dolphins offense. As long as Tua's healthy, I want Waddle. Ayuk is so many mouths to feed. You got Kittle, you got CMC, you got Debo, you got Jennings, you got Ricky Pearsall. I mean, there's a lot of weapons on that team. That's why, none of them guys really was boomy, but they was consistent because every time they caught the ball, they had big plays. That team was one of the, as yards per catch, is one of the team's best ever. Brock Purdy broke records with the Yak game. The Yak game was serious for that team. Anytime Isaac. Harambe says, TD, would you stack A-Chain and Tua with none of the wide receivers? No, I wouldn't do that. Unless Tua fell to me late and that was just the best quarterback, then yeah. But you didn't try to do it. It just happened that way, and that's different. But I would try to get a different quarterback if I could. But if Tua the best quarterback, because he could be the best quarterback on the board, then do that. It doesn't matter. It's not really a stack. It's just like I took the best available player because Tua gonna have some big weeks. He's gonna throw for 3 touchdowns some weeks. Money Mitch, what's up, bro? He says people underrate the Jets tight end room. I do. I like Tyler Conklin. I like Money Mitch. I like Tyler Conklin. I got Tyler Conklin in some dynasty leagues, bro. I know what Tyler Conklin is, and I know what Aaron Rodgers, how he targeted his tight ends. Yes, sir. He said, how about Conklin? Yes, sir. I agree with that. Facts. He says he gonna have a good year. He probably will, bro. No doubt. I think tight end, man. If you got like in dynasty, you got Conklin. Let him play. Go out for 2 or 3 weeks and see what he's gonna do before you make a move. I agree with that. Ozzy says, you think Kincaid will be better with Diggs gone? Yes. I think it's this offense is kind of gonna be like what would I say? Who was I going to compare this offense to? I think it's going to be a run predominantly team, but the guy who's going to benefit is 2 guys who's going to benefit with Diggs being gone. I don't even think it's going to be Allen. Now, Harambe feels that Allen's still going to have a lot of rushing touchdowns. He's still going to make big plays. I do too, but I don't think it's going to be for big-time fantasy numbers like it's been in the past. So I think Kincaid is going to be benefit. He's going to be a top 5 tight end, possibly, potential. And I also think James Cook could be top 12, potentially. So those are the guys that's going to benefit. And I believe that when they let Stephon Diggs go, they was thinking that Kincaid is going to step up and James Cook. And if Keon Coleman, if he steps up, and Khalil Shakir, that's even more fantastic. Let's see here. G says better OC in Cleveland will help too. Right. Well, now Kings Cliffberry is the head coach and he's the offensive coordinator. He just get guys to call the plays for him. That team beats like he beats, right? Pause. So that's a tight end team. If you go back and look at not Kings Cliffberry, I'm sorry guys, Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski. If you go back and look at Kevin Stefanski, his game script, his tight ends are top 5 in fantasy. If you look when he's calling offensive plays. So that's why I believe in David Njoku. Sorry about that. Kevin Stefanski. I was saying Cliff Kingsbury. That's for Washington. Let's see. I says I'm targeting Kincaid. Yep. Ving says I'm getting Gabe Davis in the first. Right, that's you capping, bro. I know you capping. There's a time where people was getting him in the 3rd round, and that was a bad mistake. He's not that type of wide receiver. He's a straight up boom guy. Like he might give you 5 zeros, and then he might go for 50. That's how Gabe Davis plays. Thomas says, would you trade Tank Dale for DK Metcalf in a dynasty? I love Dale, but also live in Washington and love DK. It depends on how you're building your team. Who's your quarterbacks? Do you got CJ Stroud? Keep Tank Dell for CJ Stroud. If you already got a really great team, and you just want to get DK, I say no, hold on to Tank Dell. I think Tank Dell is probably the best player, but he's volatile. He's a smaller guy. DK ain't really had any bad injuries, but he's been, he gets injuries. but he ain't having any bad injuries. Tank Dell got his ankle broke, so you got to be careful with that. But I would say if you already got a good team, hold on to Tank Dell. He's going to be a young, up and coming wide receiver, especially if you got C.J. Stroud. If you don't got C.J. Stroud and you don't, your team is not super stacked, then yeah, that's a great. I think you win in the trade if you go get DK. But DK is not going to be consistent, but he's going to give you some 40-point, about 3 or 4 40-point games. That's just the way he plays the game. Isaac says Pittman is sneaky good. I agree with that. Pittman is sneaky good. I like Pittman this year. I'm taking Pittman in the second or third round, just depending on what type of players I got and the league format. TZ says, with drafting in full PPR, would you go wide receiver over a running back in the first round? It just depends on who on the board. I'm taking Tyreek, Amara, CD Lamb. After those guys are gone, then I'm going running back. So if CNCM on the board or Breach Hall or B. John Robinson is on the board at that point in time, then I'm going running back. So it just depends. There's a couple wide receivers. That's why I got to go to my rankings. I got overall rankings on my draft guide, TZ, and that's what I got, how I got them ranked. Once those top wide receivers are gone, then I'm willing to go running back. And I'm going running back over Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Not saying that it's going to happen that way, but I'm not leaving Breach Hall and B. John Robinson on the board when these guys are getting 90% of the workload on their team and 100% of the goal line touches. So I'm willing to draft a running back after maybe the top 3 to 4 wide receivers are gone. Just depending on if you like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, then take them too, and then go get the running backs. But I'm not necessarily, looking at it as I got to get a wide receiver first. To me, it's just those are the best players in fantasy football because the way the game is played, teams are passing more. So I'm willing to get the wide receivers, and they are a little bit safer. But sometimes you can't leave that running back out there because ain't nothing like a running back who's number one. Look at CMC. These Breach Hall and B. John Robinson is younger than CMC, and they getting in the full workload. So that's why I'm willing to take these guys. I'm not a robust RB guy this year or anything. I like zero RB strategy, but I'm taking those guys if they fall to me at the 1-6, 1-7, 1-8. Thomas says, dude who wants Dale has Stroud also. Okay. Maybe I could make him pay more for Dale. Right. That's what I would definitely do that because this is the best time to trade him. This is like a young Google and he know it. Like, okay, you might have a Google here and it's a start and it's going to trend up. And it's probably going to be one of the number one search browsers. So make him pay for it. I think you need to get a first and maybe a third with that. I think you can get a first and a fourth or something. You can definitely get a first. Don't give them up for no less than a first. So DK and maybe another third or something. Let me see. Jake says after dark, yeah, buddy. B John gonna be RB1 this year. Hey, I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised. Zach Jones, what's up, bro? He says, which stack better, Burrow and Chase or Hurts and Brown? I'm going to say Burrow and Chase. The reason why I think Hurts and Brown is going to go down a little bit, they're going to be very efficient, but they're not going to be hyper-targeting. I don't think Hurts is going to be hyper-targeting Brown. I think Saquon Barkley is going to steal a lot of passing volume from this team. This is going to be a top run offense. This team is going to be probably the number 1 rushing offense in the whole NFL. Because Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts are running a little bit, and Brown gonna have some touchdown upside. Touchdown upside is gonna be for Devontae Smith, Goddard, and Brown. These are gonna be because they're gonna be like throwing for touchdowns, but running the ball, establishing the line of scrimmage, getting back to Jalen Hurts' Super Bowl run season. So I would go with Burrow and Chase, who. Chase has something to prove. He won't Burrow to hyper target him because what happened last year, and also he's trying to get a bag. It's a lot of money out there. Chase probably he's gonna be the highest paid wide receiver when he get his deal. So I think I will go with Burrow and Chase. Great question. Will Hayes, what's up, bro? He says, what up, bro? Fantasy After Dark, yes sir. Money Miss says, you drafting Coley at all? Yes, man, as a stash. I don't have him on my rookie list right here, but that's a guy that I'm willing to stash. I wouldn't draft in a redraft league. I would just pick him up. Now, if you're in an expert league and big money league, you might have to draft him with maybe the last couple picks. But he could come out and ball out, bro, and be the number 2 wide receiver for this team. Most definitely. He definitely needs to be on a roster or definitely a stash guy. Zach said, who is some of your favorite IDP players? I love Roquan Smith. I love Kyle Hamilton. Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, and Mason Crosby. Not Mason Crosby, but Max Crosby, the defensive end for the Las Vegas Raiders. Those are 3 of my favorite guys. And I got a lot of them on my team. Of course, I like Michael Parsons. Another one is a favorite, Quay Walker for the Green Bay Packers. I love Quay Walker too. Money Mitch says, and where you have Garrett Wilson ranked as far as wide receivers? I think I got Garrett Wilson like wide receiver. Right now, I think I got him like wide receiver 13, 14. I would have to put up my rankings. So I would have to turn on my computer. But right now, I think I have him at wide receiver 13, 14. Now, that's not saying that's pretty good to me. But I got other guys. There's a lot of good wide receivers, man. Hurrah, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I couldn't put him above those guys, right? There's a few other guys that I got. I might have Pittman over him because of a better offense. But if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, I might have to change that. And sometimes my rankings, I'm willing to change them. I'm not going to give that guy that growth just because I believe he can do it. You have to show me that at this point in time. Sometimes I might go off a little bit of potential, but sometimes I won't. It just depends. So, man, I could be off on him. He could be top 5. I definitely know he's talented, right? But, yeah, I think I got him like 13, 14 for his rankings as a wide receiver. Harami says, Jake, think he will just add CMC or just Bijan to the moon? Big game Gabe, yes, sir. Thomas says, my squad is solid and young. Okay, so don't destroy your team just to get a favorite player. It gets a little, you can ruin your team that way sometimes. Zach says, Bijan to the moon, RB1. G says, went to follow you on Twitter, but we already follow each other. Okay. I'll shoot you a message in the morning. Okay. Thanks, bro. Thomas says, my starters in Dynasty Suplex, tight end premium, Golf Love, Bijan, K9, Pittman, Dale Wicks, Kincaid, Laporta Jr., Jacobs. My starters. Okay. Man, if I was you, man, it's just me. I just want to, you ain't got to do this, but I would trade Jacobs I would go get another player. Not saying Jacobs going to suck. He might have a top 12 year. I just went, to me, man, I don't know. I don't want. He's like a running back that bogs down your roster in Dynasty. I would rather get that value right now because he got traded or he got picked up by the Packers and try to get something real good for him and let somebody else have him. I would try to get real good value. That's just me. That's just the opinion. It might not work out that way, but that's what I would do. Thomas says, I got Dotson. I love Dotson. I think he can break out in his 3rd season. He had a disappointing 2nd season. I love Hyatt. Lockett is probably a Hall of Fame player on a low. You got Javon Baker. I love Javon Baker. I think he can break out. I saw you make that comparison. I forgot who you said he was, but I like him, man. He was at Alabama. He's a good player. You got Dortch, Michael Wilson on the bench. Okay. Zod, what's going on, Zod? What's up, bro? Glad to see you here. He says, keep a lead. Jamar Chase round 6 or Puka round 17. You got to go with Puka round 17. Let somebody else get Chase. I know you love Chase at round 6. That's a great value. That's a tremendous value. But Puka round 17, no matter, as long as he stays healthy, you're going to win. So go ahead and draft Amon-Ra, somebody in the 1st round, and to pivot off of Chase. But you got to go round 17 Puka, man. Great job picking up Puka last year. G says Jalen will still vulture touchdowns from inside the 3. I don't think so. He might get a couple. You got to look. Lamar, like people think that's going to happen with Lamar and King Henry. Lamar only had 5 carries inside the 3. Now, Jalen Hurts had 15 rushing touchdowns. If he was going to have 15 rushing touchdowns this year, why would you go pick up Saquon Barkley? Saquon Barkley is not a wide receiver. So if you already had a good goal line running game, why would you go pick up Saquon Barkley? Why not stay with a cheaper running back like a Devin Singletary and make that team better, go get an offensive lineman? but they went and got Saquon. Why I think they want to take off some of the workload off of Hurts. He may get 5. 5 is not going to kill Saquon. Saquon is not going to get 25 rushing touchdowns, but can he get 12? That's all you need him to get is 12 and a couple passing. Zod says, you sound like you got a fan on in the background. Okay, I think I finally took that off. I think that finally stopped. Let me know if that's still going on, guys. I think that stopped. Appreciate you letting me know, Zod. Thomas says, appreciate you being live late night. Yes, sir. Harami says, Tita, you think the Eagles run more than Baltimore this year? I think it's close, man. I don't know. They both going to be top 5. To say which one's going to be number 1, I don't know. I would say probably the Eagles. I think Lamar passed for about 4,500, 30 plus passing touchdowns. So I would say the Eagles is going to be a better rushing team. KR, what's up, bro? He says McBride over Laporta. Yes, McBride over Laporta. I know a lot of guys don't agree with that. They love Laporta. I think Laporta just above average tight end. I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, he's a good tight end. He could be a Hall of Famer. And it's on the elite offense. And I think Trey McBride is like a baby Kelsey on an offense that's growing. And I think he's like a go-to guy. He's the go-to guy on his team. Laporta is not the go-to. He's like the third option on his team. Guys, let me know if it still sounds that way. It should not sound that way. I took the charge. It was the charge. I had to make sure my phone was charged. Isaac says, who's going to be offensive rookie of the year? Brian Thomas. I would say Brian Thomas. This is a rough, me just giving a guess. Brian Thomas. Kittle says, hit the like button for bruh. Appreciate that, Kittle. Money Mitch says, Breach, but I call him Breach. That's what we do here on my channel. Gonna beat out B-John. He could. I'm going with B-John. He's young and never been injured. Big Wheel in the house. Appreciate you, bro. KR says George Pickens breakout year on the way. Man, I'm starting to agree with that more and more because Russell Wilson, they say he's on one. He's out to prove everybody wrong. And if that's the case, yes, he can be that. But I need to see, I need to trust Russell, last name Wilson. Russell, last name Wilson. I need to trust Russell Wilson this year before I can go with any of those weapons outside of the running backs. Harami's laughing. Breach. Isaac says breach. Breach Lightning. He says breach. G said because the touch push is still more effective in those short yardage situations. I don't know, man. I don't know if they're going to do a lot of that. Bro, well, listen, if I'm wrong, I'm going to come back to you, G. Said, G, you was right. They did it again. I think they do it on 4th and inches, but I don't think that he's going to have 15 rushing touchdowns again. I think it's going to be more like 7, 6, and I think Saquon gets the rest of that and some more. I think Saquon have more rushing touchdowns than Jalen Hurts this year. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. And guys, the reason why I'm coming up with that, I'm thinking like a coach. I'm thinking forward. I'm very, very forward thinking. And so in football, when you come into the season, you can't do what you've done in the past. Now, I'm not going to sit to say you go away from something that's working because that tush push is nasty. But, pause. But I believe that I'm bringing in Saquon because I want Jalen Hurts to be healthy. That way he can pass the ball. I don't want us to be going into the playoffs and Jalen Hurts' arms and shoulders and fingers are messed up because he's been running the ball on a tush push. We ain't having that this year. We want Jalen Hurts to be fresh when that comes. We want Jalen Hurts to be fresh when that comes. Pause. So yes, that's just my 2 cents, but you could be right. Thomas says, I was comparing Javon Baker to Tank Dell. Right, that's right. Also, I think Jacobs could. Okay, thank you, ZB. Thank you. I did fix it. I think Jacobs could put up some good numbers, but I agree. I need to trade him. What wide receivers do you think I could target? Let me see here. What wide receivers could you target? Let me look here. I got my list of teams. Jalen Waddle, Zay Flowers, Michael Pittman, Brian Thomas as a rookie, Puka Nakua. If you could, you probably can't do that, but I would definitely do Puka Nakua. Um, what else? That's about it for right now. That's about it right for right now. Maybe Devontae Smith. Those are guys that I would go after. Thank you, ZB. Money Mitch says breach. That's what I call him, man. I'm from the South. I did a couple of videos, and my boy Sean, he follows me all the time, and he said, Titty, man, I can tell you from the South, man. He said, you don't call him Breach Hall, you call him Breach. And yeah, that's what I call him. So now we stick, all my friends be saying it. Like I was talking to my homeboy the other day, and he was like, yeah, man, Breach Hall. I said, bro, you mean Brees? He's like, yeah. But I corrected him because I know he don't normally say that. But he said Breach Hall. Or I could use a quarterback, right? I like Jordan Love. I like Jordan Love. That's a guy that I'm willing to get. I think he's a young quarterback. I like Kyler, but I don't know if I mean, it just depends. You can go get Kyler. I like Kyler. I think he's gonna be healthy for the rest of this season. I mean, rest of his career. But I would rather get Jordan Love. Thomas says, or I could use a quarterback. Okay. I smashed the like button. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate that, guys. Make sure you get the likes up, guys. Appreciate that. ZB says, sub, good channel, bro. Keep it up. Thank you. 369. He says, did you win any leagues? Bro, I won a lot of leagues last year, man. So as far as redraft and dynasty, I had never won a league. I had came in second like 3 years in a row. So I started playing fantasy football about 5 or 6 years ago. I've always been a football guy and betted and watched the game and broke the game down. So when I played fantasy, it wasn't hard. I just needed to learn this. I needed to learn the scoring system. So once I learned what PPR was, full PPR, super flex, single quarterback, premium, scoring systems, how you score up the game, how it goes in different quadrants, and then my content flowed with that. But me looking at talent, that's easy, bro. I'm always. That's why I was on Ross St. Brown. I'm still on Christian Watson. I played football. I was ranked in the state in North Carolina as a running back. I'm one of the last of the dime breeds. Well, I wouldn't say last of the dime breeds, but I was a 175-pound running back, and they didn't scout us back in the day. They wanted to change you to cornerback. But yeah, man. I was a power running back too, as a smaller guy. But yeah, man, I've been watching. I won a lot of leagues, bro. If you sign up as a member of my channel, or go to my community tab, I got a receipt community tab where I show you all my championship teams and also some best ball teams that I won in. So yeah, man, I think I won out of 13 leagues last year. I won 5 championships, and I went to the championship in 6 or 7 of them, and I went to the playoffs in 8. 8 out of 13 leagues I went to the playoffs in. Yeah, brother, no cap. Go check out my community tab. Dante Jones says, where can I join your membership for the season? Help. Do you help with live draft for members? Yes, I do, bro. If you a Phenom member, bro, for $65, I'll be with you the whole draft. But you got to sign up for the Phenom tier. And no matter how long that draft is, if it's 2 or 3 days. So what you got to do, bro, go in the description box of this video or any of my other videos and say join as a member, and click there, and y'all got different tiers. And the other tiers, you're just a member. But the only one that's going to help you where you don't have to pay $85 in the all season right now for me to help you with your draft is the Phenom. Phenom tier is the only one that's going to bring that price down. But if you want, if you don't want to join, or you just join as a Pro Bowl tier, then it's gonna be $85, and I'm gonna be with you the whole draft, bro. It could be 5 days. You can hit me up when you're on the clock, Or if it's same day draft, 3 hours, we can be on the phone, we'll wait, and we'll do each pick. And then listen, I'm just gonna give you advice. You make the pick. I'm just gonna give you advice. And I've done that for 7 or 8 people. And guys, they won championships. I ain't no cap. No cap. I got a couple guys that don't want me to say anything about it because they in a lot of leagues and they don't want people knowing that they do that. So I won't tell you. But I got a few people that I can tell you about that I help win championships. Around me says ZB. Durf boy, what's up, bro? He says, what's good, bro? I'm thinking about doing the studs and duds strategy in my standard 12-team auction draft like I did last season. Okay. Do you think Luke McCaffrey would be a sleeper to draft? Yes, bro. He's all a sleeper. I don't know how your league is, but don't draft him too early. But if you can pick him up as the last pick or something, yes, it's worth a chance, man. He got the McCaffrey bloodline. He could be a hard worker, right? And he could work his way into a slot wide receiver. So, but I wouldn't draft him early and depend on it. I would just draft him, and if it don't work out, it's okay, right? Draft him at a safe ADP. It's all about ADP in fantasy. If you draft somebody that doesn't work out, if you got him at the right ADP, nobody cares. But if you draft him in the top 5, top 6 rounds and it don't work out, it could hurt your team. Not all the time. Chaos says, hot take alert. I think McCaffrey starts declining this year. Crazy to say, just got a feeling. That's not crazy. Guys, I'm not saying I've been thinking he was going to decline, but I haven't drafted McCaffrey since his last injury. Now, I drafted him this year, but guess where I got him? I got him in a dynasty startup in the 4th round. The 4th round. In a super flex league, but it was the 4th round. I didn't care. I'm like, if it don't work out, I don't care. It doesn't matter to my team. I'm trying to win money this year. It's a $40 league. I want that $300, $400, 300, 400, 300, 400. I want that $300, $400 that I'm gonna win. So I don't care about drafting McCaffrey right now. About that, I didn't draft him as like, oh, this is the anchor of my team. But yeah, bro, it's nothing wrong with thinking that running backs, once they turn 28, 29, 30, that they're gonna start declining. They might not, but you got to think that way. So you got to get ready you got to come off these running backs that you've been an anchor on your team and trade, go get you some young wide receivers. But I also like buying these guys for the low. So I got Derrick Henry for a 1st round pick. So I'm like, my team is great. What do I need to win this year? Okay, I drafted Trey Benson. I'm not waiting on a rookie running back. So I would spend a 1st like on a King Henry, a 1st and a 3rd for CMC. And it's not going to hurt my team. If it don't hurt, that's okay. I'm using that draft capital to go make my team good to go win that year. That's how you do with running backs. Go buy them to win that year. You know what I'm saying? Don't draft these guys in startup dynasty leagues when they 28, 27, 29. Like Saquon, this is Saquon last year. I got him in a startup dynasty league 2 or 3 years ago. I won the championship last year. If I win it this year, I might let them just what I would call grow and rot on my team, where I'm just going to squeeze everything I can get out of him. And if he get old on my team, I'm okay with it. Or I might say, you know what? It's a trade out there that I want to get. I want to go get a young wide receiver, and I got good running backs to back them up. I might get rid of them. It just depends on what I'm trying to do with that team. Money Mitch says, off topic, you think there's any chance Fields beats out Russ for the starting job? I don't think so. Man, it's a travesty what's going on with Fields. It's a travesty, man. This guy's a good quarterback, and they are using his practice skill set to see how good he is. And they did that to Tim Tebow. They did that. If we get, bro, once they get off of you, they'll use that against you. Some guys are not just great practice players. Some guys are just they gamers because they run the ball. They got other skill sets. He's never going to be able to practice like Russell Wilson. So, no. Now, if Russell Wilson gets nicked up, he could come in and play great, and they might keep him in there for a while. Who knows? But I don't think he's going to beat out Russell Wilson. They talking about Russell, last name Wilson, is playing really good ball in OTAs. He's a veteran, too. He knows the offense. He just knows NFL a little bit better than Justin Fields. Been in the league, going on his 4th year. G says, I think he has more than Jalen too. Okay, but I don't think it's more than 5 or 7 touchdowns. I do. I think it's gonna be 10. I think that's what you bring him in to keep him fresh. But I get what you're saying. Zach said, what leagues do you have available to join? Okay, so guys, tomorrow I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna go ahead and do my best ball dynasty startup for IDP, and it's gonna be members first. Now, what I got to think about is how I'm going to do the entry fees. Because the regular basketball leagues that are not IDP, I'm going to let you join them just by being a member. You don't have any entry fee because the entry fee is going to be a member, but you got to stay on the member tier in order to get paid. So if you start off as a member and you don't stay on as that tier, you don't get your prize, but not going to be any entry fees. Now, this Dynasty Startup Basketball League is Dynasty. This is different. I got to figure out how I'm gonna do the entry fees because I want to also be able to support y'all, the ones who support me. So I don't want to charge you, but I'm thinking I might just do a straight up $25 entry fee, but you got to be a member of the. You could be a Pro Bowl or a rookie tier or a phenom. But I don't want to be unfair to the phenom guys, so I got to figure out something to do. But like I said, guys, I'm gonna have list of leagues coming up where if you are rookie tier, you can get in with other rookie tier guys, and you don't have no entry fee. And then I'm gonna provide the prize at the end of the year. I might do a gift card depending on and it's going to be depending on how much what tier you is. So if you're a rookie tier, which is $1 a month, it might be a $20 gift card to Olive Garden or something like that, or to Target or whatever, right? And it's going to go up. If you're on a phenom, it might be a $150 gift card to Amazon, right? It just depends. So that's how I'm thinking. So those are going to be different from this Dynasty startup. This Dynasty is going to be like a private special league because I'm not going to do a lot of those, even though it's going to be basketball. All right, I hope I didn't rant on that too much, but I do got to share the stuff that I got coming up. So yeah, Zach, I will let you know, Zach. I will hit you up. 369 says, which running back on the Bengals are you targeting, Moss or Chase? If I got to target one, that's a squeeze backfield. I talked about that in one of my videos, 369. Go watch that video. It's called Squeeze This Backfield, or Top 5 Must-Have Squeeze Running Backs. But I would say Chase. And my boy Harambe calls him Walmart Austin Eckler, and I agree that's a great comparison. They both chiseled paws. So I would say Chase Brown. I love Chase Brown. He was ranked high on my Phenom Patreon thing. The thing that I'm doing for Patreon, where I'm got an algorithm for these guys and let you see who I'm high on before they actually play. Chase Brown was high on that list last year. So, and he ended up doing pretty well when he did get to play. Thomas says, you think I got really get Puka for Jacobs? Yes, I would try. I would try, even if you have to throw in a third or something with it, or a second. I wouldn't throw no first in with it. I wouldn't want to throw a second in because Jacobs is a running back. But yeah, I would try to go get Puka I would get rid of Josh Jacobs for Puka. I was just thinking Devontae when you said it. Yep. I have love. Okay. Great job, bro. Okay. Thomas says, where in the South are you? Swisher House, DJ Screw. I'm in North Cackalack. I'm in North Carolina. 369 says, so on that, would you trade A.J. Brown for Devontae Smith and Chase? Yes, I would do that. For Jamar Chase, yes, I would trade A.J. Brown for Devontae Smith and Chase. Yes, I would do that. Yes. I already have Moss as well. Okay. 369 says, yes, sir. Okay, nice to hear, bro. What's your team? I'm a Cowboy fan. 5 sheesh. Yeah, bro, go check it out. I don't want to just tell you that. I don't cap here. No cap on my channel. That's my brand. We keep it real. I said what I said. That's my brand. He says, out of playing fantasy for 5 years, I've only won 3 times. Yeah, man, I won a lot, man. Also, guys, I just won 2 basketball championships too. First year ever playing basketball. My homeboy, his name is IDP Iggy. He hit me up. He said, man, you a beast in fantasy, man. And I appreciate it. I'm not trying to brag, but I know sports. I've been watching sports my whole life. So I won a championship. I played in 3 basketball leagues this year, and I went to the championship in all 3 of them. I lost in one championship. No, I lost in the semifinals in one to go to the championship. The other two I won in the championship. We split it in one, and the other one, well, he actually beat me, but we had already said we was gonna split, so I really wouldn't even set my lineups too much. The other one I won, man. I only lost like out of all of those 3 leagues, bruh, I only lost like 3 times. My teams was almost undefeated in all 3 leagues. So out of 40 games, I probably only lost 3 in basketball. So just giving y'all some things. It should be in the community tab. Harami said it ain't easy to win titles in fantasy football, especially if the GMs are competitive. Yes, it ain't. TG said, do members get free invites to your draft? Yes, they do, bruh. Yes, they do. I got drafts where I just let you come in and you don't have to pay. But those drafts are different than like my dynasty leagues. My dynasty leagues, I don't know. I think I might do a dynasty league for the listener leagues too, and be able to help y'all out and give y'all some type of free invite. I think I'm gonna do that, man. I gotta sit down and just sort all that out before the season starts, but it's still early. But yes, bruh, TZ, I do that. Harami says, I have finished second or third so many times, but I have titles as well. Right. Hey man, it could be one good year, and it may take time. Listen, it doesn't make you a bad fantasy player if you don't win a championship. I have to let a lot of people know that. A lot of people get down on themselves. Guys, you can have a perfect team, and somebody comes and booms on you out of nowhere and beat you in the championship. Don't be upset about that. That's why I teach about going down with the ship. Going down with the ship. Going down with the ship, man, is big. I mean, you can't help that guys have a great matchup and they get hurt. That's not your fault. So make good plays. Trust your guy. Trust your instincts. Don't be wavering where one day you like a guy, another day you don't like him. Now you allowed to vent. My boy Isaac, he always vent. He be like, TD, man, I know you say go down with the ship, but I'm still angry at his ass because he didn't play good. And I'll be like, bro, it's all good. I understand. I just tell him don't be like, oh, I'm gonna bench him. Don't never bench a guy just because you're upset. If he's a starter, he's getting the targets, you have to play him. And sometimes that don't work out. It don't make fantasy points, and that's okay. Zach says, I won 2021 fantasy championship when I had Jonathan Taylor when JT finished as RB1. Also drafted Najee Harris on that team and had a great year. That year I was stacked. Dak and CD. Ooh, okay. Isaac says, congrats, TD. Thank you, Isaac. Yeah, man, I'm going to post that in the community tab. That might be an old community tab, so I'm going to repost my basketball championships. Thomas says, I'm going to see about trading Jacobs for one of the wide receivers you suggested. Appreciate it. My second time listing. How often you go live? Bruh, probably, I would say at least every other day I'm going live. At least every other day I'm going live. But I'm going to start doing more where I'm going to try to set it up at least 2 hours ahead of time. That way y'all can see it. But I'm doing content, bruh, 70-80% of the time of the week. I might miss a day or two where I don't post anything. But when the season starts, I post every day, probably twice a day during the season once fantasy get going. But right now, I'm saying I'm probably posting about 70% of the time. About 70% of the time. So look for content every daily, bro. You probably gonna get something. He says, did you say there is a $1 a month membership I could join for now? Yes, you can do that for now. And that one just gets you in where you can get into mock drafts. It gets you a question. Now listen, right now, I'm just going down the list. But when the season starts, if you're not a member, I don't get to your question as fast. So I'm only going to the members questions first, and then I'll go back and get other people questions. So you're gonna want to at least be a member. That way you can be outside of super chats. It's super chats, Phenom Crew guys, and then I work my way down from the rest of the members, and then I get to people who are just new. So that's the order of my channel. But on these lives, when I'm going live on my cell phone, is usually just I'm going down the list unless you super chat. Yeah, just go to the description box and click join as a membership. You will see that link in the description box, in the drop down box. When are the fantasy basketball mock drafts? I don't do basketball, but that was me playing in another guy league. I'm going to do basketball right now, but I only got time for Football is my main thing, but I do want to do baseball, basketball, hockey. I'm gonna do it all. This channel is gonna be all fantasy sports, but football is gonna be the staple. It's gonna start off as a football channel. That's why I didn't name it Fantasy Football Good Sports. I named it Fantasy Good Sports. Excuse me, guys. Thomas says it would be dope to join a dynasty league. I'm only in one, which started last year. I got you. I got you to sign up for one of the memberships. 369 says not Jamar, Devontae Smith, and Chase Brown for AJ Brown. What side you taking? Not Jamar. Okay. Oh, okay. Devontae Smith and Chase Brown for AJ Brown. Nah, I'm not doing Devontae Smith and Chase Brown. I'm sticking with AJ Brown. I thought you was talking about Jamar Chase. Now, I'm holding on to AJ Brown. Now, listen, AJ Brown is, to me, he's getting older and he's a bigger wide receiver, so he's gonna have injury problems. But I would need something better than Chase Brown. I need a tear up from Chase Brown if I'm gonna get off of AJ Brown. I wouldn't even do it for Devontae Smith and Christian Watson. It would have to be something even better than that. I'm not giving up AJ Brown for chopped liver. Not saying Chase Brown is chopped liver, but it ain't good enough to get AJ Brown, to get off of AJ Brown. So I'm taking the AJ Brown side. Appreciate that, Thomas. Ozzy says, I won 2 years ago when JJ went missing in the finals and DA went off. Devontae Adams, yes. I remember that. That was like his first year with the Las Vegas Raiders. He went dumb with a backup quarterback. Thomas has been playing like 7 years and no titles. Milliseconds, stuff happens, injuries, right, etc. Right. And I got you, bro. We're gonna get you a championship. That's why I tell my guys to send me photos of your championship. A couple guys, I gotta go back into my I gotta look at my email and I'm gonna post some of the guys' championships. I still do it. It's like 3 or 4 guys, they sent me some championships. The other guys didn't send me, but other people won championships, a lot of second place finishes, and it happens. Appreciate that, Thomas. Yes, sir. He said, for sure, Jamar will be, he's still right. Harami says, Thomas, yes, sir. Rookie crew, let's go. Yes, sir. Yep, welcome to the channel. Ethan, what's up, bro? He says, I just did a draft. Breach, Jamar, and Justin Jefferson were on the board, and I chose Breach. Do you think I made the right pick? In redraft or best ball, yes, I do. Yes, I do. In Dynasty, no. In Dynasty, I would have took Justin Jefferson. But in redraft, I think you made the right pick. All right, guys, so I guess I'm going to get ready to get out of here. This was awesome. I'm going to see. Hopefully, I can push through and be a monster. No, bro, Thomas, that's what I'm going to get. I got to get that going. I got to get the Discord going. I have the Discord ready. I just got to set it up. It was redraft. I think you made the right decision in redraft. Yeah, but yeah, Thomas, I have to set it up, bro. And I'm going to do that. I already got it set up and everything. I already got the Discord. I just got to put it in the link and go to it, make sure all the settings is correct. But it's going to be for all members. So you got to be a member to be in that Discord. And if you don't stay on, I catch you in there and you're not on there. I got to make sure I got to stay on top of it. I can't let people be chopping up and you're not a member. So yes, bro, I will be doing that. Yeah, Breach Hall all day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ethan said, damn, this was a late for a weekday. I know, bro. I don't know what the hell am I thinking. I got to go to work in about 4 hours. I got to get up and go to work in about 4 hours. But hey, I love doing this. And it was a great decision too. Next time I'm gonna bring on my boy Harambe. I didn't want to hit him up at spur of the moment and put that pressure on him to come in. But next time he gonna come up live with me too. I got a couple other guys that I'm gonna be doing some lives. Yes, sir, bro. I'm grinding. It's getting that time, man. I'm starting to get that urge. I'm starting to grind a little bit hard and concentrate on this. Go a little bit more. But guys, sometimes like in the off season, I know y'all be like, well, TD, you ain't posted in 3 days. It's a couple times early in the season. Guys, I got to take a break. I'm the only one doing this. I'm the only one doing this. So sometimes I got to take a little bit of a break in the off season because I got another job and I'm a father and I got other stuff going on. But hey, I'm not complaining. I love this. Um, let me see. Sports Dog, he says, TD, I wanted to ask you, do you have a favorite BB service? I've been using Underdog, best ball service. Underdog, and also I got FPCC. I think I might have my acronyms off, but yes, that's another one. It's a little bit more expensive, a little bit more for diehards, sharks. But I use DraftKings too. So DraftKings and Underdog and the FPCC. Yep, DraftKings, Underdog, and the FPCC. Also, guys, if y'all doing that, I got my links posted. Go to use my links for Underdog, also for DraftKings and FanDuel. Now, FanDuel, I don't know how they best balls are. I haven't really used their best ball, but guys, use my links. Help support the channel. It's not gonna take any money out from you. It's actually gonna give you a boost if you use the link. I think they're gonna share money with both of us. So use the links. Ethan says, grinding though, yes sir. He says, I'll be there, bruh. Okay, yes sir. Appreciate you, Romby. And 369 says, I counted AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Gibbs. Yes, I would do that. And usually I would tell you don't go for a running back, but Gibbs is gonna always have another running back in front of him to keep him fresh. Pause. And that's good about Gibbs. That's why I love what Detroit is doing. They very, very intelligent. Gibbs is the only squeeze type of running back, and because he, the way that format is, that I'm willing to draft like in the first or second round. So I like that. I will give up out AJ Brown for that. Would you take, bruh? Yes, I would. Keep AJ. I would go with Devontae Smith and Gibbs. I'm fine with that. I mean, if you get something better, Devontae Smith and now you couldn't do Puka. I might try Puka, but if you want to do Gibbs, I'm okay with that. For sure, bro. Off-season rest needed. Right. Because I've been doing this for about 3 years here. Been doing it about 3 years. I go hard in the season. I don't miss days. I do my waiver wire videos. I do all of that. I grow. But I don't do the 10 o'clock in the morning live because some news happened. I missed that out because I got another job. So that's what's keeping my channel from booming. But I still come home from 5 to 9. I'm releasing all the content during the season. You give betting advice? Yes, I do, but that's only for members. I only do that for members. So, or you can get a consultation. The consultation, guys, is right now I still got it at $40, but at the season starts, it's going up to $50. I've been keeping it low for $40 because it's off season. So I want to help. I don't really like asking for money, but listen, I'm trying to, it's a business, right? So I have to push that. But yeah, you can do a consultation. We can chop it up for 30 minutes and I can give you betting advice. And I also got receipts to show you that I do bet, right? I won some good money. But as a fee, I think I got to look at the tier list. I think as a phenom, you can email me and I can send out bets. And I usually send out some bets for the Phenom Crew people, but you got to be on the Phenom Crew list. But let me make sure I got to vet that, bro. I gotta vet that because it could be the Pro Bowl or the Hall of Fame tier too. So I don't want to just say it's Phenom, but let me vet that. But you can go and look at it yourself, man, and see to make sure. Interesting fact says, TD, which wide receiver has the nicest tight end? I think he's being funny. But I answer, which wide receiver has the nicest tight end? Who's got a good tight end on his team? I'm Ross St. Brown with Porter. Zach, appreciate you being here. Interesting facts. Like betting on NFL games. Yes, I do that all the time. I gotta actually do a little bit more of that this year, man. But it's a lot of fantasy. But I do it privately. Privately, yes. I helped a lot of guys. Man, I hit a lot, especially on the pick'em, NFL pick'em. I be smashing that. I gotta show y'all some of the hits that I've did in the past. I save them off. I take pictures of them. Thomas says, my guy, hope to see y'all soon. Yes. Ethan Carey says, I feel like the season's tomorrow with how much I'm prepping, but we still got like 3 months. Facts. Thomas says, see you soon. See, left out. He's actually has Puka worth a shot. He actually has Puka worth it. Yes, try Puka. That's awesome. Try Puka. Ethan says, TDU, when watching the games, do you just use Red Zone? No. I use Red Zone sometimes, like if the commercial, the game that I'm watching goes on commercial, I'll go to Red Zone. But I gotta watch a game because you can't understand the game until you watch the whole game and understand it. Now, if a game ain't on regular TV or it ain't streaming on any of the platforms and it's just on Red Zone, yes, I will go to Red Zone when it's on commercial from my point of view, from my TV or where I stay at. But yes, I'm not one of these just Red Zone people. I have to watch the game because I do IDP too, so I watch the whole game and I do Red Zone. Harami says Cooper got a good tight end. Pause. Right. Interesting fact. So you just earned yourself a subscriber. Thank you, bro. Zach says he love Red Zone channel. Right. If you just play fantasy, but if you do content, you have to watch the game. Ethan says, how do you know who to root for when so much leagues? I don't. Listen, I'm telling you, man, I don't even root for my Cowboys like I used to. I'm a Cowboy diehard. I was there for years. But I watched other games, but I was a Cowboy diehard. When I started making fantasy football content, man, when the Dallas game come on, I'm like, so what? I want to make sure, I want to see what Tyreek going to do because I got Tyreek in like 90% of my leagues. So I'll be like, what is Tyreek going to do? And so now, man, I chase the players. I don't chase my team. I'm still a fan. I'm always going to be a fan. But I'm more enthusiastic to watch the players. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna get ready to go to bed. Like I said, I got 4 hours before I get up and gotta go to work. I appreciate everybody tuning in. This was Gas. I will be probably doing a video or a live tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. I try to set that up that way. I'm gonna give y'all a few hours to come in and hit the like button and get notified. So y'all be safe. Ethan says, oh, so you do just get the same players in most leagues? Yes. Guys that I'm on training for that year. Yes. Tyreke. He says, what is the CJ Stroud highest and lowest range of outcomes? Number one quarterback, top 12. Number one quarterback, top 12. Those are his floors and ceilings. Zach says, peace, Robbie. Zach says, it's like stocks. Come on, Zach. I have 7 shares of Amon-Ra St. Brown and 5 shares of Tyreek Hill. That boy knows fantasy football, bro. You need to come up. Bro. You sign up as a Phenom or Super Chat. If you Super Chat, I'll let people come up. They're Super Chat. If you Super Chat above anything up $5 or above, I'll let you come up and chop it up, bro, because you also are a member too. But that's I agree with that. That's facts, bro. Straight facts. Ethan says, see you, TD. Yes, sir. Be back soon. Get in a big sleepy. Me too. All right. Y'all be safe. Peace.